Clair Obscur Expedition 33 has been hailed as a masterpiece, a visually stunning RPG with a haunting story and innovative combat. Everyone seems to love it, but for me, it didn't quite hit that 10 out of 10 mark. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's a bold, beautiful game, but some flaws kept it from being perfect. So today I'm diving into why Clair Obscur didn't fully win me over, breaking down its story, themes, strengths, and some issues that held it back for me. But before we get to that, don't forget to like and subscribe and leave your thoughts below on Expedition 33. Do you think it's a masterpiece, or like a modern day, JRPG timeless gem, or did you not quite find that was the case? I don't know. I'd be interested to know. So anyway, let's get to the video, and be warned, there are mega spoilers for the game. Set in a melancholic world, Clair Obscur Expedition 33 paints a haunting tale of loss and illusion. Every year, a mysterious event called the Gamage erases anyone over a certain age, orchestrated by the Paintress, who seemingly rewrites reality with her brush. We start the game as Gustav, who starts this journey trying to stop the Paintress before he and anybody else are erased, driven by the pain of losing somebody he loves. Initially alongside Mael, Loon, and CL, and then after that we meet Verso and Monoko. They discover a shocking truth. Lumiere is a painted world crafted on a magical canvas. The Gamage is the Paintress's attempt to perfect this reality, erasing flaws and people in the process. The story builds at the end to a gut-wrenching choice: preserve the beautiful life of Lumiere, or destroy the canvas and face an uncertain truth, accepting your reality as it is and living with that. There are two endings of the game. Mael's ending keeps the illusion alive, while Verso's ending shatters it, leaving only fragments of memory. It's a poignant meditation on mortality, memory, and whether a comforting lie is worth living. So let's break down the themes here. I mean, Clair Obscur isn't your typical RPG. It's a philosophical journey split into 3 acts, each wrestling with big ideas. So let's break down act by act here. Act 1 opens with a world that's gripped by fear of the Gamage, where people vanish at a certain age. It's a society haunted by impermanence, and Gustav's quest to stop the Paintress is as much about preserving memory as survival. I mean, this act hits really hard with themes of grief and identity, and how do you hold on to what you are when the world keeps erasing you? And as a serious twist, Gustav, the main character of the game, gets killed at the end of Act 1. So it really nails this thing of like, nothing lasts forever, and this person that you think is going to see through your adventure to the credits of the game is suddenly erased themselves. It's a real twist of a moment. With the second act, things get crazier as the expedition uncovers the secret of the world. I mean, it's a painted illusion. The Gamage isn't just cruel, it's a tool to maintain a perfect world. And then we find that the Paintress actually isn't doing the wrong thing, and we start to question who the bad person really is in this game. And of course, we also start to have questions of who is the curator. Things don't quite add up here. But straight away, taking the helm of the leader of the party, straight after Gustav dies, Verso, who's been there for who knows how long, seemingly immortal, has this thing. He knows what's here. He's been here for quite a while. He has the ins and outs on the entire world. And he seemed to be a part of this, bad guy team. This is originally what I thought. He's Renoir's son, and we start to get this idea that, he might actually be the Paintress's son as well. So yeah, it's very interesting. And right towards the end of Act 2, we also realize that, this is an illusion. Nothing is real in this world. And Act 3 is where things start to come to a head. After confronting the Paintress, you face a devastating choice. Keep painting the illusion here, or destroy it and embrace the unknown. Mael's path clings to comfort, and Verso bets on truth, even if that means losing everything. I mean, Verso himself is a painted illusion of the real Verso who died in a fire. And the reason why this painting is being kept is to keep the memory of Verso and the world that he's created alive. So you have this, do you embrace the lie and live in comfort, or do you shatter the illusion and live in the real world? That's kind of like, do you stare at your phone and scroll at your phone and just immerse yourself into this world, or do you unplug and go out and touch grass? That's really what the contrast comes down to here. So here's what worked with Clair Obscur for me. First, the world of Lumiere is cool. It's this French aesthetic. It pairs really well with surreal, painterly environments. It really feels like stepping into a living painting. And of course, that makes sense thematically once you realize what the story is about. The Gamage, the supernatural erasure of people, it's not just a cool plot device, it's a powerful metaphor for mortality and the fear of, not lasting very long. It gives every moment emotional weight. The The story's ambition, I think, is another high point. Instead of leaning on some RPG cliches, it dives into existential questions of like, is a beautiful lie better than painful truth? The dual endings, which were really interesting. They're both heartbreaking and thought-provoking. There is no real right answer. I do think that Verso's ending is the true ending, whereas Mael's ending, you know, even when Verso goes to play a note on the piano, it's a total wrong note, and you have this paint on Mael's face. It's very telling as to, you know, you're living a lie. But as a whole, the presentation seals the deal for me. There's amazing voice acting. The soundtrack is very, you know, haunting in a way, and the visuals felt fitting for this adventure. You know, it felt very theatrical in a way that really made sense to, yeah, this is a painted world. And let's not forget, the most standout feature here is the combat. I've talked about this before in the other two videos I've made about Expedition 33, but it's much more than your standard turn-based fare. You know, you've got your timing, your parries. It really is like Paper Mario meets Legend of Dragoon with a little bit of Lost Odyssey. Everything just feels right. Boss fights are huge. They don't feel like your standard boss battles, which is really great. Everything felt a little bit more grandiose in scale. And overall, it's a turn-based system that stays fresh and engaging throughout. It's stylish, deep, and easily one of the best RPG turn-based combat systems in years. But here's where Clair Obscur falls apart for me, and this is probably where I'm going to have that disconnect from you if you've played this game and thought this is the best thing since sliced bread. First of all, the pacing of the game felt off. The game loves dumping huge lore drops and philosophical monologues right after intense moments, and you really don't have the chance to catch your breath or process the moment. You're hit with some dense dialogue that can feel overwhelming or even disjointed. It really pulled me out of that emotional flow. The world building was, you know, rich in a way, but it also had similar issues. A lot of the history of the world, past expeditions, you know, it's all tucked away in scattered notes and logs. It's immersive in theory, but in practice it feels a little bit distant, like you're obviously reading somebody else's story instead of living it, which, you know, makes sense. Yes, so I'm reading a log and it's voiced, that's cool, but I don't know. And plus the metaphysical lore, you know, around the paintress and the canvas can also get convoluted. There's also something mentioned at one point in the start of Act 3 where they're talking about the painters are at war with the writers. I don't know if this is leading into something that could be a possible sequel. It's cool in theory, but there are some ideas that just really didn't make sense for me. Characterization is another mixed bag. I actually really liked the character of Verso. He was cool, and I liked the fact that he was cursed with immortality, and his ending is freeing him of that weight. He's knowingly being erased from that world. He's had enough. But Gustav, on the other hand, is like, you know, he's this main character. He's, you know, got the face of this celebrity, of course, Charlie Cox. He does a fantastic job, but he's just gone. He's like totally wiped away after Act 1. So I know this is a silly thing to say, but like, could they not afford his likeness the entire game? Or I don't know. It was just an interesting take. And the other characters, Mael was great. I enjoyed her role in the story, but Loon and Ciel and Monoko, and I don't know, just felt a little bit underdeveloped for me. I did enjoy Eskia. He was pretty cool and very lovable. But yeah, some of the character arcs here get lost in the game's big philosophical swings, leaving them maybe as archetypes rather than people. So yeah, that coupled with the tonal clash of the amazing flashy combat and, you know, the depressive story, it just felt like, I don't know, a little bit disjointed. I mean, but all this said, it's not a deal breaker, but it just kept Clair Obscur from feeling like a cohesive masterpiece for me. It's really ambitious, but sometimes that ambition tripped over itself. So why isn't Clair Obscur Expedition 33 a 10 out of 10 for me? I mean, it's a game that swings for the stars with its haunting world, bold themes, amazing voice acting, stellar combat, but with the lore dumps and some of the pacing issues, it didn't stick the landing totally for me. Still, it's a great experience, one that's going to stick with you if you vibe with the existential questions for me. If I was to assign a number to it, I'd probably say it's an 8 out of 10. Unforgettable in a way, but at the same time, also flawed at times. So that's my 2 cents on Expedition 33. Great game, but not a total perfect experience. There are some, you know, bumps along the road along the way, but it's still a really great game, and I did enjoy my time with it. So I would love to know your thoughts. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll see you again on another video next week. Bye-bye.